my name's Jim. Welcome to Batilipi's Workshop. I'm about to start a series on our motorhome. It's a year 2000 Class A motorhome built by Georgie Boy on a P32 Workhorse chassis. So GM originally built the P30 Workhorse chassis for RVs and for step vans. But in 1999, they sold the entire operation to a company called Workhorse. And they continued to make RV chassis and step vans up until about 2009. Georgie Boy, on the other hand, produced motorhomes from 1968 until 2009, of course. And it was part of the Coachman Industries company. So our motorhome is a double orphan. The chassis maker's out of business and the company that built the RV is out of business. So it's a little bit hard sometimes to get parts, but the Workhorse chassis still there are a lot of RVs built on those and a lot of step vans built on those things. So the parts are readily available. So we were looking for an older 27-foot motorhome. We had rented a couple of Class C motorhomes that were about that length, 25, 26 feet. We really liked the size, but we really wanted the Class A because you get that panoramic view out the front window. It's just a lot nicer than sitting in a truck cab or a van cab like you do on a Class C. And we found this Georgie Boy Pursuit. It's 26 feet long. It only had 22,000 miles on it, which is terrific. And according to Carfax, it was originally sold in Maine, and the people that bought it there soon moved to Florida. And then it transferred ownership many times over the last 24 years. Most of the time it wasn't even registered, just, but it would occasionally get re-registered. So it ran great. The generator worked, the engine was good, and it stopped. The one time I drove it from, I drove it home about 30 miles when we first bought it. And since then I've only moved it around the yard, here and there, but we haven't taken it out on the road, mostly because it had really decrepit tires on it. And of course I didn't want to buy the new tires until we were just about ready to start using it. So it met our needs. We really wanted one this size, and we didn't want slide outs, and this one does not have slide outs. It just makes it so much simpler, less to go wrong. It's just myself, my wife, and a dog or two really on these trips. When we got it, we knew it needed a new roof. When I went up there to look, there were patches on patches on patches on patches, and it was clear when you went inside it leaked because there was a musty smell. It was not, they tried to cover it up, but you could smell it. We knew it was there. But we paid a really good price for the thing, so I didn't mind. But when you look at these motorhomes, I don't see too many YouTubers talking about it, but at least this one, the exterior walls and the roof are simply styrofoam cores with a 1/8 inch piece of plywood glued on either side. So it's a sandwich of 1/8 inch plywood, styrofoam, and more 1/8 inch plywood. And there's only about 4 points where any kind of aluminum framing goes around, up one wall, across the roof, and back down the other wall. And that's primarily to support the air conditioner and the fans. The bathroom fan and the bedroom fan in the back. So it made it really hard to figure out how to make changes to the floor plan too. Now there's a YouTuber called AZ Expert, and if you ever want to learn a lot about how to work on RVs, he's a professional RV technician, and he puts out a lot of videos, and he put out dozens on replacing roofs. In fact, he got tired of those. I think he stopped doing them, but they're still there, the older ones. He seems to be a really great guy. So I followed his videos when it came to putting on my roof. The only thing I did different is I chose to use PVC for the material instead of rubber. It was originally rubber. But PVC is something I'm more familiar with, and it's way more resistant to, if you run under a tree and a branch is a lot less likely to scratch through. And also PVC is really easy to patch, as you might know. You just use a piece of PVC and the same PVC glue and primer that you'd use for PVC plumbing. So it took me about 10 days to do the roof. And it was a lot of work. but it wasn't hard. It just took a long time. It was very exacting. And again, I'll have a video on that a little bit later. Now, most of the interior damage was along the front, where the front cap meets the roof. That was the worst, where most of the water had come in. And then around the bathroom and the bathroom skylights and around the bedroom fan, that was where most of the leaks were, and a little bit along the back where the back cap meets the roof. But the inside layout and the finish of it was all original. So it had a dinette, a tiny kitchen with about a foot of counter space, had a propane refrigerator, and it just wasn't very usable as a kitchen. Every surface in the RV, as typical for most motorhomes, was done in fake oak grain wood. So it's basically contact paper on every surface, on the cabinets, on the walls and everything. So we changed all that, and you'll see what we did as this series progresses. We expanded the kitchen, so we had to give up a full-size closet for the bedroom that was on the same side adjacent to the kitchen, so we were able to move the refrigerator back. We put in a standard apartment-size electric refrigerator. And I was able to get about 2.5 to 3 feet of counter space. We replaced all the appliances throughout the whole thing. So there's a new microwave that's also a convection oven now. We don't have a regular oven, but we've got a stovetop. We put a new hood in it. We've got a new air conditioner. We've got new hot water heater. You know, so all those appliances are new, because they were all 24 years old, and I just didn't want to have to figure out how to make them all work. We had no instructions, nothing came with the vehicle at all. So the other thing about it was the electrical system. It had 2 batteries, regular car batteries. One was for the chassis, you know, for the motor and everything, and then the other one was for the whole interior of the house. One 12-volt car battery. So I put in a very elaborate, very complex system, which I'll do a whole video on. It came out really nice, actually. So we now have an electrical system that can run the thing pretty well. So I also had to build new front cabinets, all the cabinets above the windshield, from scratch. And because when we were taking the old ones down, the whole cabinet set collapsed on us, and it was so rotten we couldn't figure out what went where. It took a long time for me to custom build new cabinets and figure out how to get them up there, but it worked out. So it's still a work in progress. I'm currently working on the brakes and the suspension. The brakes are old, but it's only got 22,000 miles, so the brake material is still there. It's just that it's old and it's crumbling and stuff. So I'm glad I got in there and looked at them and all. I'm going to replace all the brake fluid, everything. So that's a work in progress. So it's taken a lot of time. It's been a great project. So there's more to come. Thank you.